day of Ashura is done. Sham-e Ghariba now is over. And now Zaynab's journey begins. You know, one point that I don't think that sometimes we all realize, maybe you all do, it took me a while to realize that. There are big moments of musibah and masaib in Zaynab Kubra's life. There are big moments. There are obvious ones, right? The Bazaar of Sham, the courtyard of Yazid, the imprisonment. Then there are little details in history that are heart-wrenching for us to understand. Look, she was new to Sham. Sham didn't really know who Bibi Zaynab was. But in Kufa, there was a time where her father had his government in Kufa. He would often say that when there was a group of women who wanted to learn about the deen, I wouldn't go myself. I would send Zaynab to them. Zaynab would go and teach these women in Kufa. She had a following. She had a level of respect. She was a Shahzadi in Kufa. Not just because she was the leader's daughter. She was able to form her own identity as an alima ghayri muallima, as this source of knowledge, well respected in Kufa. But that was 40th Hijri. This is 61st Hijri. 21 years after that Shahzadi, that respect, she's now re-entering Kufa, but this time as what? As a captive. Bound by rope. Shackled. Broken. Can you imagine now you spend a few years in your life in a city, you establish yourself in that city as a person of respect, you serve the people, you're around, everyone knows who you are. Then 20 years later, you re-enter that city as a prisoner, as a so-called criminal. It's very hard for someone like Zaynab Kubra. I want to take you a little bit back in Masaib, and I won't take too long, I promise you. When Imam Ali was struck with Ibn Muljim's sword, in the 40th year of Hijri, 21 years before the event of Karbala. Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein rushed to the masjid, of course, wrapped their father's wound in a cloth, begins to bring them back home. Behind them is a massive crowd. Wants to come to see, can I serve Amir al-Mu'mineen for ayadat, something that we can do to help. Imam Ali in that, and again, I don't know if you understand the viciousness of the wound. To be hit with on your cranium is very difficult. That pain is severe. That pain is severe. As he gets closer and closer to the home, his concern moves from the pain on his head to the non-mahram men hearing Zaynab's cry. It's ajib. These are small things you've heard, but stop and think for a second. How important must it have been for Amir al-Mu'mineen that even the cry of Zaynab not be heard by non-mahram ears? He forgot about his wound, the blood pouring down his face, to tell his sons, tell these men to go home. When Zaynab sees me, she's bound to cry. He enters the room. He enters his hujra. He's put down to rest. The door opens and Zaynab enters that room and sees her Baba in the halat and state that he's in. When Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein both saw him, of course they began to cry. Instant reaction as two sons to a father. Imam Ali says, Hassan, be patient. Hussein, be patient. Now's not the time to cry. They dried their tears up. Zaynab walked in, the door opened. She stood there and she saw Baba's face. She saw the wound. She could sense the pain. These are daughters for her father. Zaynab, the zinat of her father, the beauty of her father. And naturally the daughter began to cry. Imam Ali's reaction is something different. Hassan, don't cry. Hussein, don't cry. But when he saw one tear of Zaynab, Amir al-Mu'mineen began to cry himself. One tear of Zaynab, Mawla, broke your heart into pieces. One tear of Zaynab broke your heart into pieces. Sham-e-Ghariban is done now. Come to the bazaar of Sham, Mawla. Come to the Zaynabiyya, Mawla. See your Zaynab now as she begins this journey, takes its qafala and all of imamat from Karbala to Kufa, Kufa to Sham. The Tabib, the Hakim comes and says, Amir al-Mu'mineen, your time now is limited. Begin to give your nasihat. And he begins to give his nasihat to all the men. Imam Mustafa, Hazrat Abbas, Imam Hussein, all the other men. And then he sits down Zaynab beside him. Zaynab, this is Kufa, Zaynab. In this very same Kufa, you'll be brought as a criminal, as a captive. People will hurl insults at you, will throw garbage at you, will throw rocks at you. Your hurmat will be sacrificed. You'll be challenged, you'll be tested. My loving daughter, remain patient. Remain steadfast on the path. Allah is the Shahid, He's watching. Allah is Muntaqim, He's the Avenger. Be patient. And one by one He tells her, this will happen to you, that will happen to you, that will happen to you. With her head down, Ji Baba, yes Baba, Ji Baba, yes Baba, I'll be patient Baba, I'll be patient Baba, I'll be patient Baba. When Ali was done, Zaynab says, Baba, you're mushkil kusha for everybody else. When all of these moments happen, if by chance I call upon you for help, will you come and help me? Of course I will. Let's examine tonight very quickly. Where did Zaynab Kubra ask her Baba for help? It is on the 2nd of Muharram. They arrive in Karbala. She hears an old man from the Bani Asad tribe. This land is called Karbala. She hears it and cries. Doesn't ask Ali for help. The war begins. Shaheed after Shaheed. Her own owner Muhammad falls in the sajda, is heartbroken, doesn't call Ali for help. The right hand of Abbas doesn't call Ali for help. The broken body of Qasim doesn't call Ali for help. The thirst of her brother Hussein doesn't call Ali for help. Dila Zaynabiyya doesn't call Ali for help. The tents on fire, the slapping of the children, the removal of veils, the trampling of the bodies, the heads on spears, all of it Zaynab Kubra saw. Not one moment in the Maqtal where she says, I need help. The qafala gets ready, they move towards Kufa. They spend time in Kufa, no call of Ali for help. They arrive in Sham, no call for Ali for help. Then they approach the courtyard of Yazid. 7 different doors to the courtyard of Yazid. Zaynab walks through one. Imam Sajjad beside her. The head of Hussein in front of her. The second door opens, she walks in. The third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth door opens, she walks in. Then the final door opens. Standing in front of her are hundreds and hundreds of men. A parade, a festival, decorations, all ready to see the entrance of the daughters of Ali into this courtyard. All these non-mahram eyes fixated on this door. The door opens and Zaynab stops. Some Maqtal says that Zaynab sat on the ground. I will not enter this courtyard. You can do all you can. I will not enter. Umar bin Saad says to Imam Sajjad, tell your aunt to enter, otherwise, tell your aunt to enter, otherwise, Pupi Amma, please, I'm with you. Baba's head is with you. Enter the courtyard. Are you asking me as the Imam of my time? Yes, I am. Fine, as the Imam of my time, I will enter this courtyard. I also have one question for you. Just one question for you. Which way is it to Najaf? Zaynab Kubara stands in front of that door. Baba, now your Zaynab is asking for help. Matam Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein.